Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology Update for September 2nd through 9th, 2025. Well, wow, we just continue to have such intense astrology. I know that everybody's feeling it right now. We've been having square after square of intensity, and these are like squeezing contractions telling us that we're coming to a time of complete rebirth. That's the energy of this eclipse season that we're heading into. We're coming up to the total lunar eclipse that will be on September 7th. And I hope you'll consider joining us for the Pisces full moon activation on Saturday, September 6th, and a lunar eclipse soul group session, a group intuitive session looking at shared past life pictures, getting you the information you need right now to move forward. That will be on Sunday, September 7th. So we'll have some powerful moments together to celebrate this time of eclipses. And then we also have a solar eclipse on September 21st, a partial solar eclipse, and that will be at 29 degrees Virgo. We know that the last new moon, the last lunation, Virgo new moon, happened at 0 degrees of Virgo, and then we have another full moon in Virgo and a solar eclipse at 29. So everything is telling us that yes, we are remaking our whole reality. It's really powerful that this eclipse season happens with the nodes at 18 degrees of Pisces and Virgo. 18 is a powerful number because it's got the 1, it's got the 8 of transformation, and then together it's 9, it's a completion. And so we're talking about the end of the old way of doing things so that we can move fully through the birth portal of New Earth. And that's what this eclipse season is about. So the solar eclipse on September 21st at 29 degrees Virgo, very powerful marker, and just exactly almost 24 hours away from the exact equinox. So the equinox is going to be on September 22nd. So we'll have some powerful moments together in that time as well. So what we've been feeling this last week is Venus has moved over into the sign of Leo. Venus, our feminine, our intuition, our emotions, our sensitivities, our wants, our needs. And so Venus in Leo wants to shine. It's about the divine feminine component of true visionary leadership and expression in the world, creative expression. So Venus is activated into that energy, and yet right on moving in, she moved into Leo on the 26th of August and then came into that opposition with Pluto on the 27th. And so we're just coming to the end of that opposition. And so now Venus is cruising along in Leo. But the next transit that will come is Venus coming into square with Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. Now, this is really powerful. They come into square um, on the 10th of September. And we'll be feeling that from the 8th to the 13th. And guess what? At 18 degrees. It's the death of this says this is the death of the shadow side of the feminine, of the let's burn her at the stake, let's hate her for being good, let's steal all her energy and leave her in the gutter. This is the end of the mistreatment. The mistreatment of any creature in this world is the mistreatment of the feminine. And the feminine in all of us has been deeply disregarded, ignored, and abused. Now we listen to the voice within us. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about the intuitive voice, the emotional voice, the voice of reason in emotional reason. The law of the land. What is best for everyone involved? This is the energy of the Age of Aquarius. The Aquarius energy is about addressing the needs of the individual, inviting out the gifts of the individual and where they might fit and offer the most to society. So it's like honoring the individual to honor the whole, and honoring the whole in order to honor the individual. So it's a total different set of leaders that we need, and we need empathic, visionary, inspired, and so what this really is a rise of the goddess. Um, and so Venus, though, coming into the square with Black Moon Lilith is the challenge, right? It's like, why does everything that wants to do good and be good and help in the world is met with negativity and argument in our society? What is wrong with doing the right thing and taking care of people? Right? It's like, we have been so hated on, burned at the stake, whatever you want to call it. For what? For being good people, for wanting to care, for wanting to heal and bring our light. And so it's what's happening right now, the time we're entering into, I would say, for the next 6 months, because we're at eclipse season and the effect of the eclipses are 6-month cycle. And so for the next 6 months, I would call this a time of reckoning, where it's just, we cannot go further while the criminals and the horrible people are holding on to the wealth of this world. It's our wealth as her children. That means they have to be completely eradicated. That means that our money system must change so that it cannot support criminal activity. That's what's going on behind the scenes. It's getting cleaned up. The earth is getting cleaned up. The governments of the world are getting cleaned up. And we have been doing this, our part energetically. So powerful, supernova souls, when we come together in our intention. And so I hope you'll consider joining that activation or eclipse group intuitive session this weekend. And the information to sign up is in the information box below. So Venus, Black Moon Lilith will start feeling that at the end of the week into next week, the beginning of next week. And so but it's a really intense square, and that's going to be active for that total lunar eclipse on the 7th. So we'll be feeling the beginning of the Venus square, Black Moon Lilith. And then the other thing that's happening at that time is Mars is square Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is in Cancer, and Jupiter is actually in trine to Black Moon Lilith. Guess what? 18 degrees. And so calling out to 18. So the energy here is so powerful because Jupiter is in a trine with Black Moon Lilith. And to have Venus in a square with Black Moon Lilith and Mars in a square with Jupiter. And so what this means, as we look at the zodiac, is that we've got Venus and Mars in sextile to each other. So this is a very helpful relationship that will be happening at the beginning of next week. And so that's this incredible lining up. So the Venus square Black Moon Lilith is harmonized because Black Moon Lilith is trine Jupiter. And then Mars square Jupiter is harmonized because Jupiter is in trine to Black Moon Lilith. And then Venus and Jupiter together making a sextile, tying it all together. So the sextiles are about creative solutions to the problems that we're facing. And it's so powerful for this eclipse coming up, this total lunar eclipse, that we've got Venus and Mars in tension transits with Black Moon Lilith and Jupiter, who are in trine, and then they're sextile to each other. It's epic, poetic, beautiful story that is playing out. Do not let anyone tell you anything different. Okay, because we're at a weird time right now, because we just had Saturn move today, Saturn moves back into Pisces on the 2nd. So it's like, oh man, back into the dark ages, but we know we've got to reclaim the miracles and magic and the access to Christ consciousness that was promised to us, our inheritance. It's ours. And in the Piscean age, they used delusional, religious, spiritual energies and delusions, trauma, scarcity, to control humanity. So they took the spiritual energy and used it for control. Now the control forces are leaving the planet, and we must reclaim the spiritual energies of the gifts, the healing miracles that were a part of the Piscean age that we didn't get to fully experience. So it's weird because Saturn in Pisces has an eerie, creepy feeling, but Saturn is going to be going back and joining Jupiter and Black Moon Lilith. So Jupiter's in Cancer, Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. So right now we've got the North Node creating this trine. This trine is going to be from, this will be happening the first couple of weeks of September. So from the 2nd to the 7th, Jupiter's trine the North Node in Pisces, right at eclipse season. Jupiter trine the North Node during eclipse season. And Jupiter's in Cancer. So it's about expanding into the mother, back home, back into love, into our hearts, into what really matters. Can we finally please? And have we had enough of being attacked for being the ones who won't give up on her dream? So it's like we are jimmying the lock on reality right now in a massive way. So be ready for miracles in your life. Be ready for big shifts you've been waiting for a long time, and you better run with it. You better take it. It's like we've been so scared because our timelines have been so messed up, and it feels like, well, I don't know how to move. So mom says just wait until you're clear, and but at this juncture, we need momentum, we need leap, we need to go. And if it's not quite right, you can adjust midair because something's got to give, something's got to happen. And this is our second kite we're coming into on top of all of this, But going back to that total lunar eclipse, the main energy is going to be, so that's on the 7th, Mars square Jupiter on the 5th, 2 days before, Venus square Black Moon Lilith a couple of days after. So total lunar eclipse at 15 degrees Pisces, 23 minutes. 23 is a number that represents Christ consciousness. And so 15 is the very middle of the sign. So it's like we're at the crux of the situation of why can't we get out of the dungeon of the Piscean age, And so this is what we've got to do, right? We've got to put our deep dive mask on, breathe deep for air, and go in there and face the darkness, the deepest hidden darkness in our psyche, because we finally have support to clean it up. If you're continue to be in a hostile environment, you can never heal your abuse. It's only until you feel loved and held and safe that you're going to be able to heal your nervous system. So this is what we're doing, right? We got it, but we can't ignore it. We've been ignoring it, and in emotional suppression, just ignoring these problems and these issues and the deep shame within us, and why we don't feel quite right, why we feel disconnected, why we feel so alone, even though we have people around us. This is all the stuff why we feel shameful about every little thing that we've done wrong ever. This is the energy of the Black Moon Lilith, but these trines are resolving it. But right now, we got Venus and square, but harmonized. So Venus in Leo, we're talking about the intuitive component of our visionary leaders of the future. And where are they? Oh, yeah. And so in square to Black Moon Lilith, we're looking at those deep, dark secrets, the shame, the fear of our own power, the fear of persecution, and getting over all of it so we can finally come back together and bring our army together, bring our tribe together, and really do the work we came here to do. But there's a remaining fear of our own power, still remnants. It's like, because you can only find it when you up your game. You up your game, you raise your vibration, you make some decisions, choices, move your life forward, and then that's when you're going to find a new level of fear programming and shame programming. Do you deserve it? Are you good enough? Your dream life is waiting there on the conveyor belt, waiting for you to just, it looks like a big leap, but it's just a step. But do you deserve it? If you don't deserve it, then you're going to sabotage the heck out of that thing. And I'm feeling a lot of supernova souls on the edge of sabotaging good things that are trying to come because you've only known bad things, right? So we're stuck in the PTSD of these last years. And we have to understand that our nervous systems need to unwind. And so when you've been feeling oppressed, targeted, attacked, like not safe, you're going to need a period of time to reset before you can really move forward. And that's what this time is about. I would say that is the gift of the water trines that we're going to be feeling. Um, because Saturn is going to retrograde back to 25 degrees of Pisces and join the water trine with Jupiter and Black Moon Lilith. Jupiter and Black Moon Lilith will be in trine um, from the 20th of July all the way to the beginning of December. Okay, so this is our ticket out. What's it saying? Jupiter's in Cancer. Jupiter wants to expand and bring more. And so it's like love is the way we heal the darkness. Love is the way that we overcome the distortions and the fears and the programming and everything wrong with this world, you know. But it's not love, it's mother's love, unconditional love, coming back home to this in our hearts, walking with her with every step and breath, and making it your mission and your purpose to be in that field of energy. It is a field of energy. She is a sentient being, a goddess. We are a part of her body. Can you believe it? We're called to bring our body into temple status, to love our body so much, enjoy our body so much. And our bodies are changing. We were physical meat suits, but now we're lighter. Mother's carrying us, lifting us, holding us. And so we're not so um, prone to attack, right? We're turning on our light body and not so prone to injury and attack. But there's a lot of suppressed feelings inside of us that haven't been processed. So they're coming up. They're coming up. We got to figure out what to do with them. Like, do we want to stuff them back down and continue, like, kind of just stay feeling yucky and gross and off? Or do we want to let it out and come clean and put it on the table and get down on the ground and lay down with her belly to belly, heart to heart, and say, I freaking love you so much. I feel you. Carry me, hold me, take me to this next place I need to go, and support me in the mother's work that I'm here to do, whatever that might be. See, this is the thing, is that the Mars transits, the Mars Kite really brought in energy last month in August, brought an energy of ego death. And the ego death is rough because it's everything you thought you knew and what you thought you were doing and who you thought you were and what you've been clinging to find some sort of stability in this insane world, you know? But that's not who we are. And so we're landing home the truth of who we really are, supernova souls. And we got to make room for it. We got to let the ego death die. We got to be willing to adjust at a 180-degree turn our thinking, our attitude, our seeing, our clarity. Clarity is coming. And so maybe it's kind of like clarity, memories, healing, leap. Memories, clearing, healing, leap. You know, we're kind of like, ooh, uh, maybe like both timelines running concurrent, right? We're just trying to catch up and get there because everything is a test and an initiation right now. Very difficult experiences happening for supernova souls because you got to get to the nitty gritty. And that's the energy of Venus square Black Moon Lilith. So we'll feel that from the 8th to the 13th. And and it's really about clearing out that darkness that's keeping us really clearing it out, that's keeping us from shining our light. And then at the same time, Mars square Jupiter. Now Mars is in Libra, and Mars is our warrior and our masculine. And so in Libra, Mars wants collaboration, wants to work together, wants to get along. But Mars wants also in Libra wants justice, and Mars is willing to fight for justice. And so there's this uncomfortable feeling of the Black Moon Lilith secrets and darkness that's holding us back, and the collective is about justice. We need real, true earth justice, where those that have raped and pillaged us for so long, stolen from us, abuse, you know, whatever's happened, must be held accountable. And so Mars is taking a stand in Libra in square to Jupiter. In Cancer, Jupiter's trying to expand into the mother, right? So it's saying, oh, got to have justice to come back to Mother Earth. Until we see some justice, until we see the bad guys get punished and the good guys rewarded, we cannot get any closer to Mother, because Mother is the law of the land, true justice, and that's not justice for some and not for these others that want to just like completely keep us in financial tyranny while they feed off our energy. So it's all coming to a close, and that's what the astrology is saying. We're taking back our world. This is definitive as we come into later in the month, and Mars in Cancer, excuse me, in Libra, comes into a square, an opposition with Chiron in Aries. So Mars in Libra coming into opposition with Chiron will be the standoff, because Chiron is wounds, deepest wounds, where we gave our power, excuse me, and our energy away. And so Mars fighting for justice, we're taking it back. We're taking it back, you know? And so that happens on the 17th, and that will lead us right into the energy of the solar eclipse that happens on the 21st. Um, so um, this month, September, is a massive turning point where we say no more to the tyrants and yes to taking care of ourselves. Is this playing out in your world, in your life? Where have you been feeding, loving, honoring, respecting, taking care of the tyrants? While they treat you like garbage and you're not able to take care of yourself in your life. Literally, this is what we've been doing on an energetic level by staying in low vibration frequency, allowing these energies to keep us in this heavy, dark, depressed, black pill state. We've got to find hope, we got to find light, and that's the energy of this time. So, after the lunar eclipse this weekend, then we're going to start feeling the energy of the kite shape. So, last month in August, we had Mars come into opposition with Saturn and Neptune. And now Mercury's turn to come into opposition with Saturn and Neptune. So between the 17th and the 19th, Mercury in Libra will oppose Saturn and Neptune. And so that is activating the kite shape, and it's our second kite. Venus will make the kite next month. So 3 times the charm. Time to lift up, 3 clicks of the heels of magic carpet, however you want to get there. But it is time to go home, to be home in yourself, to feel safe, secure, at peace in your body, in your energy as a supernova soul on Earth. Congratulations, you made it. Um, so, but the kite is intense because we've got Saturn and Neptune. Well, Saturn just moved back into Pisces, right? But Neptune is still in Aries. So we got Saturn in Pisces, the old, Neptune in Aries, the new dream, the old way of doing things, Neptune and Aries, the new original possibilities and dream, opposite of Mercury in Libra. So again, it's saying justice. We need collaboration. We cannot stay in right, left, red, blue, male, female, black, white division. That's divide and conquer. It's been a tactic they've used on us for long enough now. And that's what these kites are saying when the Libra energy activated. It's like, if we can't collaborate, we can't come back to Mother. The first step in this whole spiritual research that Agar Casey did and study group readings that he did with various people doing very serious, they want to do serious spiritual work and meditation. And the first most important lesson before you can do any other spiritual work is cooperation. And we do not know how to cooperate because we're running around infected with the ego parasite where it's self-serving. It all comes back to everybody is just like, because we're in survival mode, right? So we got to take care of ourselves. But it's not the right vibration. Mother Earth is abundant. She continues to grow and regenerate right in front of our eyes. Why cannot we see this magic and have reverence? Okay? It's like the feminine housewife, the mother who's doing everything. And yet she goes unacknowledged, ignored, not paid attention to. Her needs don't matter. She just gives and gives and gives. This is the feminine Mother Earth. Nobody's paying attention to the mother. The mother can give until she's all done giving. And that's where we're at. Mother Earth says, I've got to self-preserve. I got to take care of me now. If you're with me, I'm taking care of you. If you're not with me, the vibration's about to kick you off this planet. So we all need to come back around, and that's what we're doing. And maybe Supernova Souls, you've been on a special project or mission for her, going to find some souls, energies, deep hidden, repressed supernova issues, kind of resolving for the collective. Thank you for your service. It's such a powerful time, and it's this feeling of like you got to grab it, got to take advantage of it. You've been waiting so long. We cannot let fear stop us from taking these next steps that are coming your way. You got to take a leap. You got to say yes. You have to put your will force in alignment with positive change in your life, or it's not going to happen. This is where we've been. The effect of the nanotech and the poisoning, the toxicity, and the vibrational frequencies we've been dealing with is an effect on the third chakra. The third chakra, your belly region. This is the where you feel either confident or insecure. So when somebody attacks you, you feel like you've been kicked in the gut, right? You feel uncomfortable. That means they're trying to feed on your energy and knock you down so that they can get what you have. Oh, wait. Is this what's been going on all along, lifetime after lifetime? They attack and knock us down so they can steal our light and our energy? All the while we feel like hopeless losers? Failures? How we can't do it any better, any more right? The more right, the more better, the more good we are, the more people hate us. It's really getting uncomfortable. And so this is the reckoning and a reconciliation of all wealth going back to its original owner. What does that look like? Whew. So um, it's like the main thing is this total lunar eclipse at the middle degrees of Pisces, this tension, the masculine and feminine trying to reclaim back and heal, come together into collaboration. And then we move into the Mercury Kite. That'll be from the 16th to the 21st, leading right up to that solar eclipse at 29 degrees Virgo, the very end. The very end. Can't do it this way anymore. The very, very end of the way, the old way. And that's the 18 degrees. So the nodes of the moon, they're just points in space. This is the interception of the sun, the orbit of the sun and the moon. So it's this point that moves in space as their orbits move. So when we come to eclipse time, the nodes slow down because the sun and the moon line up. So that means for these eclipses, the sun and the moon will be close and lining up to the nodes of the moon at 18 degrees. So we've got the sun and the moon at 18 degrees of Virgo on September 10th. We've got Jupiter is 18 degrees from already today until 14th. Also, Black Moon Lilith is at 18 degrees, and the nodes of the moon are at 18 degrees. And so we're going to be feeling that energy. And of course, the backbone of this is this Great Water Trine that we're feeling with Jupiter, Black Moon Lilith, and the North Node. North Node in Pisces, we go forward by going back. And that's saying, yes, we have to reclaim the magic of the past. Jupiter in Cancer, we can only do it when we come back to Mother. What's in the way of coming back to Mother? Because we can only do it when we come back to the mothering energy, the law of the land, the way it should be done, the honoring of what's received, right? So the housewife, overworked mother that's doing everything that's not being recognized or supported, her needs don't matter. Just sacrifice for everyone else. This is how Mother feels. This is how the feminine feels in all of us. The intuitive, healer, helper, good person, whether in your male and female body. But the ironic thing is that housewife that's overwhelmed with all of the duties and no care and love for herself, one little moment of true connection of somebody just wanting to talk to her and connect with her and feel and listen to her feelings would change everything. It would change everything for her. She'd feel listened to and held. So how do we come back into communication with Mother Earth? Because she's like, bring them home to me. She's got messages for us. She wants us to be in communication. She wants us to listen to her and pay attention to her and honor her, right? If you're going to continue to give Mother Earth and the feminine, if you're going to receive these gifts, mothering, care, love, the most precious and valuable commodity we have in this world as mammals, then the natural way to continue to receive those best benefits and gifts is to be in gratitude and mutual reciprocity. Like, oh, you give me this, I give you this. You give me this, I give you this. Isn't it fun? Because right now mom feels completely and utterly ignored while she's doing everything. She produces everything for us except for what we energy bring as humans. She brings all the resources to work with. And yet we're not working with her. We're not talking with her. We're not communicating with her. We're not acknowledging her existence. So this is what's going on with the masculine and the feminine. And it's like the masculine is so angry at not having the feminine's love and the mother's love and losing and abandonment and scared that he's like not treating her well. And then in and then at the same time, the feminine is feeling not treated well, and so she wants to abandon him. But they really just want to love each other. And we got to come back together with our right brain, left brain, with our intuitive thinking, our intellectual thinking, our heart and our mind, our masculine, our feminine, and the people around us who are playing these roles. It's like dig deep for compassion and understand that there's a massive bloom of the toxic qualities of both of the sexes in both of us, and each, and everyone has both sex energies of masculine and feminine. So it's just really freaking intense. But what a perfect way to resolve it. Jupiter in square to Cancer. I mean Jupiter, yeah, in square Mars in square to Jupiter. Tension around expanding into the mother. We need justice. We need collaboration. And then Venus square Black Moon Lilith. We got to clean up the darkness if the feminine light can shine. The divine wisdom, the Sophia wisdom. Our leadership of the Aquarian age must include the Sophia wisdom, the divine feminine wisdom. In all the cultures we worked in the past, supernova souls, every culture we built and lived and worked with was based on a perfect balance between the masculine and the feminine. So this is what Libra is about. And this is why it's the bridal chamber. We are the pillar between heaven and earth, the bride of Christ. We are her body, and it's a glorious existence. And so this is the rise of the goddess, and that's the energy coming back to Venus square Black Moon Lilith. So that'll be after the lunar eclipse. And and then the kite, Mercury kite, we can lift up. So what's powerful in the kite shape is that we got Saturn and Neptune at the top of the kite, reworking the timeline. Saturn back in Pisces, Neptune hanging out 1 degree Aries, reworking that timeline. And then there's these sextiles with Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus and Gemini. Now Pluto is at 1 degree, and Uranus is still at 1 degree. Pluto moved to 1 degree last month of Aquarius. So we have Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus and Gemini in exact trine. And that's the energy of the body of the kite. So the other part of the air trine was Mars coming into the air trine last month, Mercury coming into the air trine this month, and then Venus next month, all opposing Saturn and Neptune, saying we're reworking our reality. How do we do it according to the masculine? How do we do it according to our mind and our understanding and our perspective? How do we do it according to the feminine? And let's lift up and take this. Let's go. Come on. We've been in this for too long, one way or another, you know. This darkness got to give, and that's what's happening. And then leading in to that eclipse. So this whole time, the first couple of weeks of September, we've got that beautiful grand trine with Jupiter, grand water trine. So we got grand air trine, grand water trine. How much more clear does it need to be? All of the planets, like half of the planets at 18 degrees lining up with the nodes at eclipse season. This is definitive. This is a marker. This is the end. This is the beginning. And so just hold tight and wait and be present and come. Remember that what we're being called to do is let go of the agendas of any level of us, right? Because if we come to the project with some sort of idea of ego construct, of what it needs to be or what we need to fulfill or what we need to accomplish or do for something else or do for somebody else in a certain way it needs to look, then we're bringing an agenda. That agenda blocks the energy of the natural flow of the mother's work and the way it wants to unfold. The way it wants to unfold, right? So we are required for what is required of us right now, a full and total surrender to the mother's way. Walk in her field. Let her move you. Let her go ahead and push you into that difficult experience and push you right back through like magic, because it's the squeezing time of birth. And that eclipse on the 21st, 29 degrees, says, yep, here we go. The other thing that's happening, and all of this is happening, is that on the 13th and 14th, so right in the middle between the two eclipses, the Sun and Mercury come together. And the Sun and Mercury have been together. They meet up. They're going to meet up 6 times this year. And that's because of the retrograde cycles, you know. And so it's really interesting to look at when and where the Sun and Mercury have met up. Because the Sun and Mercury coming together this time on the 13th, 14th is the 5 of 6 conjunctions. The last one will be in November. So the Sun and Mercury when they come together, it's a brilliant mind. It's about understanding who we are and the perspective that's available for us in the certain times, astrological times. So they came together in February at the same degrees, 20 and 21 degrees, this time of Virgo, in Aquarius. So that's really powerful. They came together in March in Aries. They came together in June in Gemini, in August in Leo, and now coming together in Virgo and then in Scorpio. Oh, joining into that grand water trine with Black Moon Lilith and Scorpio. So it's just powerful, intense, but lining up. Do you know how many cycles upon cycles upon cycles of patterns of the stars and planets had to work this out to show us all this right now? Don't miss a moment. Be as present as you can in the vibrational frequency of what you want to create. Keep loving yourself, loving mother. You know, they say if you can hold for 17 seconds an idea, a vibration, that it's real. And maybe we can just take that time, that practice. Maybe we can make it to 18 in honor of this incredible time of transformation. But everything at 18 that's happening is transformation, but it's a transformation through a death process. And we know that that's for us, first an ego death, right? And a death of the old systems, glorious demolition. So we'll see what happens. It's an incredibly powerful time. It's Uranus and Pluto in exact trine is saying that Pluto and Aquarius, the leadership and possibilities of the Aquarian age in trine to Uranus, the disclosure and the exposure of higher frequency energies and technologies. That's what moves us into the Aquarian age. The Kite has so much to do with the disclosure of advanced technologies, which is us, because our light body's turning on. We are the med bed. We're the proof. We're the evidence. and it's our inheritance, and we take it back. It was all stolen. It was ours. We had it. We worked. It was fine. We can handle it, and this is the process that we're in. So that Sun Mercury conjunction in Virgo is very much about discerning, sorting it out, cleaning it up. So the Sun is our identity, who we think we are, Mercury, our conception. So our conception about our identity, some clarity coming, and really discriminatory, really thinking through who we really are and what we're doing. And so that's powerful because it does happen so close to the eclipses in the sign of Virgo. And so it's just an incredibly powerful time. Right now, Mercury has just moved over into Virgo, and that happened, or that will be tomorrow on the 3rd. And that means that Mercury will be in a opposition with, a square with Uranus in Gemini. And so Mercury in Gemini is wanting to understand, to clean up the mind and sort through it all. And Uranus is saying, you're missing a whole bunch of information. There's a big black hole in your head and your consciousness where they stole your memories, your Akashic records. You've been lied to about every part of history and life. Your identity's been stolen as an advanced being, So it's like kind of saying, how are you going to move forward in clarity of who you are and clean up your mind when your mind has been owned by technological controls, and the technology is stolen. Advanced technologies we're not told about, used against us. And this is coming to an end. So Mercury, there's some frustration here where it's like we've got to clean up the issue of why we're, just so much suppressed truth around who we really are and our power. It's the key, right? If humanity understood how powerful we are, humans can be, then we would never be trapped. We'd never be in financial tyranny. We'd never be in slavery to a system. Would never happen. That's why we've been so targeted. They can't let us for a moment be free to express the truth of who we are, because we'll set everyone around us free. This is a deal with the witch burnings and things like this that I've seen, the attacks and persecution in past lives. It's because you were turning on your light body, you're activating, coming into your power, bringing forward your gifts every time. So no wonder you're so scared, because you're right on the edge of bringing forward those gifts, and that the obstacles are breaking down, and that there's no more excuses and nothing to fear besides fear itself or your own self. What are we really scared of? Our own power. So we got to reconcile this, and that's a lot of what that Sun Mercury is about, sorting through all of that, and very powerful. So, and it's an incredibly intense time, and I hope that you'll consider joining to really be present with these energies and take advantage of what's available for us here. Right before the Sun and Mercury come together, that's when Mercury will be conjunct the North Node. So it's like the Sun, the North Node, and Mercury all together, opposite the South Node in Virgo. With the South Node, opposite the North Node in Pisces. So this is saying that we've got to clean up our mind, clean up our earth, get the truth, sort through it, get rid of the garbage, discriminatory, think it through, analyze, in order to move forward and reclaim the miracles and magic. We're cleaning up Earth, and we can't band-aid that, so we had to create a whole new one. That's kind of how it feels, and it does feel like it's been created. So when Venus and Mars come into this configuration, Venus square Black Moon Lilith, Mars square Jupiter, Jupiter trine Black Moon Lilith, Venus sextile Mars, Venus will be one sign away from Jupiter in Cancer. So Venus is in Leo, and that's called a semi-sextile. And that semi-sextile is around about working across the lines to come up with your, to find common ground, to work together across the lines. So Venus and Jupiter, Venus and Leo, we're talking about the expression of the divine feminine leadership gifts. And then Jupiter in Cancer expanding into the mother's love. So this is saying that expanding into the mother's love, we can expand. The only way we can expand into the mother's love is through divine feminine leadership. And this is the peace. Can we all come back around to supporting that mother, that poor, tired mother? The healers that have been taking on so much pain, taking out the karma, the pain, the disease, the people around us, transmuting, performing miracles that go unheard, unnoticed, and unrewarded. May you walk in the miracle blessing that you are and be showered with abundance. So very powerful times. And so thank you so much for being with me, Supernova Souls. I would love to see you on Saturday, the 7th or 6th for the Pisces full moon activation. Sunday, September 7th for the lunar eclipse soul group session. And also, please check out my courses that are available, Goddess Activation. These are video courses, recorded video courses, very powerful work to get. This is exactly what you need. Owning your energetic field and Goddess Activation is very complementary to each other. That Goddess Activation, exactly what we're seeing right now. Venus in semi-sextile to Jupiter, square Black Moon Lilith, but Mars is supporting there. This is saying that this is the rise of the goddess, the divine feminine. And we get to feel the beautiful energy of the embodiment of creation forces. And we get to be in bliss and smile and light and free and create, move forward and make it better. And instead of being stuck in a horrible, abusive world, a hostile world, we get to move forward and make it better by using our gifts. Can you believe that? I know it's hard to believe. But we're kind of that message of being stuck in PTSD. We're so used to it not working out that it's hard to adjust to it working out, but get ready, okay? It's right there. It's written. And so check out those courses. I also have a limited number of individual sessions available. All the information about that is in the information box below. Also a link to donate if you appreciate this ad-free space and this offering of weekly messages. For you, Supernova Soul, I love you so much. You are amazing. And I'm just so honored to know you, to connect with you on the astral plane. I feel you, I hear you, and thank you for your support as well as we all go through these difficult times together, because we know it's darkest just before the dawn, and the dawn is coming fast, and you're on the cutting edge. Supernova, that's what we've always been told. So no wonder you're a little scared. Just keep breathing, keep loving, and lay down with Mother Earth and tell her you love her, see what happens. So I love you so much. Thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to connecting with you, hopefully for these events, the activation and the lunar eclipse soul group session. Get that past life information, crack open your Akashic records for yourself to move forward in new ways and as we take these leaps together. So I look forward to seeing you soon or on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.